Hey guys, welcome to another video. In today's episode we are going to be cleaning my football boots now. I have two pairs of football boots that need cleaning. My pre-season starts this Saturday, in fact. Today's Thursday, so we're outside of my back garden. We very rarely come into the back garden because it's overgrown and a bit not well looked after, so apologies for any of that. I have some water here, but I'm going to be pretty careful with it. I've got my scrubbing brush. Now, I know you're supposed to use like proper stuff for your boots, but I very rarely actually do that because I find that a bit of water and a bit of scrubbing usually does the job, and then a bit of buffing afterwards with a cloth. Now, I used to use the foam. Used to like spray it on, leave it for about 10 seconds, and then scrub it with the top of the can. And it used to work a treat, but I ran out, and then once I just used a bit of water, and it seemed to do a very, very similar job. Now, the first pair I have are these. They're my Adidas boots. Well, one pair of Adidas boots. I can't remember exactly which Adidas boots they are, to be fair. All I know is that they're used for firm ground. They're personalised on the side with Marvin 97. They are custom made. In fact, I'm going to just quickly do that. They are custom made boots. I got these for my 16th birthday. My dad bought me these. They have the lethal zones, obviously. Different places to strike the ball, have like rubber, divots, so when you connect with the ball, it actually, springs off the boot very nicely. I got it in the lightning green with the red and the white trims, like the red boot itself, the lightning yellow, sort of neon yellow colour for the accents, and then I just got a white back of it. And the sides I kept white. I think they look very nice indeed. Now I'm just going to sit down while I explain a few things because my feet are hurting. Hey guys. But yeah, they make pretty cool sounds. I'm finding it pretty awkward to sit on my floor. Now, I apologise for the background noise of all the cars. There is a main road at the back of our house. Obviously the underside is a lot harder and a lot more plastic based. This is where the My Coach, if I've got it in my pocket still, if I can find it, this little thing. They released these a few years ago. I'm not actually sure if it still works. I'm going to have to go upstairs and test it and see if I can link it to an app. But it monitors your progress, how many steps you take, how far you've ran, sort of powerful shots. It sort of registers the force and tension, I believe, something along those lines. I never really used it, but if it still works or I can get it working, whether I can just replace a new battery, I might see if I can get it set up for this season ahead and monitor any progress. But I'm just going to put that in my pocket so it doesn't fall in the water. Anyway, so getting on with the actual cleaning of the boots, I just use a bit of water. It is warm water, it's not super hot. In fact, it is a bit hot, to be fair. But I just try to scrub all the mud out. Typically, I put my hand inside the boot just so I can get a nice sort of feel for it. Keep the tension quite nicely in the areas where I'm particularly scrubbing. This does indeed get water everywhere, I will admit. The laces themselves are probably the dirtiest bit because it's very hard to get dirt out of them. I may unlace them now, in fact, and try and get all the dirt out of the van. saying I haven't worn them in a while. They're pretty dirty, and the dirt is pretty grounded. I have gone to the park over the past sort of few months and played in these. So there's a bit of surface dirt on them. You know, the bottom of the boots especially. Let's get that off. I like to keep my boots very, very well kept because then they tend to last longer. You know, I've had these since my 16th birthday and I'm turning 21 in September. So these are 5 years old, these boots. The second pair I got for my 18th. You know, they're a very similar pair, like custom made, and you know, I really, really, really enjoy playing in boots that I can really call my own, you know. To answer any questions that you're probably going to have throughout the video is A, why have I got Adidas boots and not Nike, stuff like that. And maybe I'll probably, while I'm doing this, answer some questions about football-based ideologies. So the first question is Adidas over Nike. I've owned both Adidas and Nike boots over my playing career. I personally prefer Adidas boots. Kits, I like Nike kits. I've played with Nike kits many a times. I've never really played in Adidas-based kits, I don't think. Or it might be the other way around. But boots specifically, because this is what we're cleaning right now, I adore Adidas boots. They seem to fit better on my feet specifically. I find Nike boots to be very thin and very, you know, contracting of my foot. So I quite like Adidas boot, even though I've got quite thin feet myself. So Nike probably would be the better fit. I really enjoy Adidas ones. Secondly, I find that after sort of 3 to 6 months of use of Nike boots, they tend to pick up this really horrible smell. It sort of smells like, if you ever know what cat wee smells like, it literally smells like that and it is dreadful. However, Adidas boots, I've never ever had a problem. I mean, look, 5 years later, and these just smell like leather still. They're amazing. So I personally prefer Adidas boots over Nike. That doesn't mean I won't ever buy Nike boots again. I've had both Adidas and Nike boots that have torn and they've split on me, so I don't think build quality is much of an issue with both of them. In all fairness, I think they're both either as good as each other or as bad as each other, depending on what way you look at it in terms of that aspect. So I'm literally just trying to get all the dirt out and clean it all. I've got my joggers on and I've got one of my nicer tops on, which I probably shouldn't have, but you know, I'm only spraying dirty water on me, so it's not nothing I can't wash out. But my Blue Yeti is getting smashed to smithereens in terms of dirt. I'll have to give it a wipe down later anyway. Hope it's not impeding too much. You know, it's only ceramic, it'll live. Now the back of these seem to be a little bit dirtier than I'd first anticipated. So I might just have to give it a bit of a better wipe. Now, this is a very, very handy tool because it lets you really like rub off any of the dirt that you might not be able to get with the actual scrubbing brush itself. And it really lets you, like, you know, get in and clean. I haven't used this before and I just found it in my bedroom, so I thought I'll use it as my shoe tool to sort of, you know, really give my scrub and a clean. It's getting pretty dark out here. I might have to go and get a light source from either my other phone or maybe a lamp or a torch or something, just so you can really appreciate these in their light. And I've actually done quite a good job of this. I didn't think I'd get it as clean as I have. But yeah, what I have found is with more expensive boots, they feel a lot nicer, obviously. I'm just going to quickly delace them. And I'll probably lace them up tomorrow once I've cleaned them. Because these laces are filthy, to be fair. I mean, I'm getting dirty just piddling them out. And I've never actually delaced them, so that's probably why they're so filthy and why the areas around them are pretty filthy too. Sorry, I should be doing this in camera view, shouldn't I? I don't mind the laces going in the water either, because that's where they're going to end up in a second. But with the season starting on Saturday, I want to make some good impressions because I'm meeting the team for the first time and I'm meeting the manager. But I always like to go in with like a good vibe, you know, nice, clean, fresh, like new start sort of feeling. Now I can tell these are filthy because they're pretty stiff. Like, look at that. Instead of like where the clean bits are, this is yeah, they're pretty filthy. Might just leave them in there to soak for a bit. Give them a quick dry. Now what I can do is sort of get one corner wet and just, you know, go into these bits where the laces were and give them a good scrub. You know, really get all the dirt out. This bit exactly the same. You want to get all the dirt because if you can see, it really is getting dark out here pretty quickly. I might have to go and get my light. Bear with me 2 seconds. There we go. So as you can probably see, guys, all under here is pretty filthy, and so I can find the bit that was wet. I think it was that bit. Just gonna keep scrubbing them the best I can. The whole of the tongue's pretty filthy. I probably should have some like form of like leather aid and things that will keep the leather intact and stop that splitting and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter too much. You know, I've got a second pair of boots. If these go, I wouldn't be surprised because, you know, they're like 5 years old now. So they're not the end of the world. That's one. That's moving on to the second. I'm going to do the exact same things. Now, as these are the left boot, they're nowhere near as filthy as the other one was, because I am myself right-footed, and so, you know, I don't use my left foot as much. But one might say that I have a 3 to 5 star weak foot. If we're going in FIFA terms, I do believe that I'm quite two-footed. I've always grown up trying to use both feet because it aids, you know, in playing football. If you can learn to use both feet, you're at a major more advantage than a guy that can only use one foot well. And what I did learn is that specific football clubs will literally look for players that can use both feet. So that gave me an advantage over other players. Not to say that my left foot's just as good, because it's nowhere near as good, but in certain situations where it comes down to me using my left foot, I feel just as confident, you know. I'm getting absolutely splattered here, and so's the microphone. Give me 2 seconds. There you go. So I'm covering the microphone with a cloth. If I do sound a little bit muffled, it's because of that reason. But as it looks right now, these are actually pretty clean. So I'm just going to delace them like I did the other pair. I actually have a few knots in this lace. In fact, I've got a pair of laces upstairs. They're a lot thicker and they're not meant for football boots, I don't think, but I can try them out and see what they're like, because I presume getting these back in here are going to be a nightmare, because they've got so many knots in this boot specifically. So it might come in handy, me having an extra pair of laces. If not, I can go pick up a pair of laces tomorrow before work, because today's Thursday night. I've got work Friday night and Saturday night, but I've got training Saturday daytime. And as predicted, these are going to be a pain. No, maybe I can't delace them just yet. I'll have to try and clean them the best I can. So I'm just gonna, I don't know why I did that, I didn't want to do that. I just need to dry them and get them looking shiny. It really has dropped really dark really quickly. It's only, oh no, we are getting on to like 10:30 now, so I probably should have done this a little bit earlier, but I was watching England and then I was playing FIFA, so I was actually playing FIFA for the first time in like months. But yeah, so I'm going to leave these to the side now, just because we need to clean the other ones. Now these are another pair of Adidas boots. Get rid of all the crap that's inside. These ones are a little bit different. These are orange, blue and white. They're a different design completely. You know, these are the lethal zones. These just had these sort of hexagonal and circular and triangular sort of patterns on them. I really, really like the look of these when I bought them. Again, they say Marvin 97 because that was one of my nicknames growing up. I had quite a few nicknames, but I thought I'd match these boots and get Marvin 97 again. But similarly, I've had these since my 18th, so these are coming on 3 years old now. I know I haven't played for a whole season. I think I'm going to delace these before I start, you know, doing more, because these laces are a bit tougher. And I think these boots specifically are a lot dirtier than those were. But it is something that I did notice throughout the season, was that these boots specifically held dirt a lot more than they did. Because this was more, although it still is leather, it had a more of a synthetic feel to the leather. It's like the leather had been pressed to like add this design to it, whereas these were sort of put on top of the leather. This was more indented into the leather, and it sort of held dirt and everything throughout the season. So, oh no, wrong way. So, yeah, like I was saying, so it became an absolute ball ache to get dirt out. So, if I can. And the fact that this had a plastic back as well, look, made it a little bit easier to get dirt out of this bit, if I could. Although I've actually got paint on this from running up and down the sideline. Well, one major difference that you can see is the bottom of it are completely different. These are more thick, these are for firm ground, these are actually for soft ground. And maybe more 3G type pitches, you know, the plasticky grass. But I like the fact that the bottom of it is actually clear, sort of see-through, so you can match the boots sort of design to the bottom of it as well. You know, you got your white Adidas stripes right there. I don't actually know what that is. I think that's black pen or something, or like, it's certainly not coming off, so I'm a bit annoyed. How very strange. But yeah, these boots, I'm quite impressed with them because they feel like a lot more secure than they do, the other ones. Probably because of the more sturdy plastic heel to the shoe in general has made it feel a lot nicer and a lot sturdier. Now coming onto this side, see, this is filthy. This is the right boot, so I expected this to be a lot dirtier. It really makes you wonder where I'm controlling the football or how I'm kicking it if I'm getting the back of the heel dirty, you know? It's just where you get clips. To be honest, I'm trying to get all the dirt as I can out of the, you know, stitched personalisation name thing. Now, as you can tell by the colour of the water, these are filthy. I think these have made the water go a lot darker than the other pair did. top of the boot. But no, I always like to keep my boots clean, as I said, just because, I don't know, I'm not sure whether it's a psychological thing or just me trying to be nice and neat and try and keep things neat. Like, I'll try and get them as muddy as I can at a weekend, because that's the whole point, is you've got to get stuck in and all that. But if you can start off clean and get them absolutely filthy, it means you've had a good game. In some respects, anyway. There we go, let's try and buff these off again. Oh god. Dirt in like the tip of the shoe. But yeah, I'm tempted in September, when I get a bit of money, you know, student loan on my birthday, to buy another pair, if I can. I'll see what I can do. I might leave a poll on Twitter come September time to see if I get a new pair of boots and what you guys think I should buy. I'll leave it up for like an hour, so be watching out for that. I'll probably announce it. What do I do with the other shoelace? It's there. Let's put this in the water. I meant to put it in the water just so it can clean. Now I lace these up completely different to that pair, which is what I've just noticed, and I'm not sure what that really had to do with it. Maybe it was a little bit safer. I hope you guys enjoy this. But yeah, so I played striker for most of my career. I've played in lots of different positions when I was younger. You know, I've played in goal, I've played right back, I've played left back, I've played in literally every position. It was one of the things that my stupid cars. It's one of the things that the team that I played, well, one of the first teams I ever played with in my local area, they tried to like play everyone in like all different positions. You know, tried getting people used to having to adapt, and like part of it was so like if you're ever in a position where your full back ran on and you were a winger, that you knew to like come back and you knew how to defend and stuff like that. Another part of it was just to try and get people to get familiar, see what positions they like to play being young, and then try and stick with one as they grow up. That sort of ideology about it. But yeah, so I played in a variety, the main one being striker, obviously, banging in the goals. Actually found my old season records playing for Draycott and Wilne and all these different clubs that I played for throughout the years. Because they're on the FA's website, you just have to log in. But so yeah, I was going through it a couple of weeks ago with one of my mates at uni, and some of it was better than I thought it was, and then others was not as good as I thought it was, you know. Now this has got paint on the back, so this is going to be an absolute pain in the arse to remove. The reason I'm doing this 2 nights before as well is just to make sure that they've dried, because, you know, water does get inside the boots. It doesn't really make much of a difference, mind you. It doesn't like cause a stench or get them damp or anything. They just dry off, which is very nice indeed. This has been a pain to get off the back of here with the paint. Gonna see if I can get it with the cloth in a minute. In fact, no, this is the right boot. The one I cleaned before was the left boot. So that was actually a lot dirtier than I thought it would be, I'm not going to lie. This really does get it everywhere. You ever need to invest in that, you know, proper stuff that cleans your boots a lot better. but oh well. Hot water and a good brush you'll have to do for now, won't it? I can't believe how dark it's got, to be fair. I'm glad that I've got my torch, or my phone anyway, it's got a torch on it. Now, these are a size 9.5. I'm actually a size 7 to a size 8, depending on the type of shoe. But obviously with football boots, you typically have to get a size like a bit bigger, mainly to compensate for, you know, your shin pads, because you have the little clip that goes around the bottom of your heel. I do with my shin pads anyway, because I've needed ankle supports. It just helps, to be fair. Yeah, and you know, thick socks, and the actual leather itself is relatively thick compared to normal shoes, especially around the heel and around, you know, these bubbly bits. So it really does compensate to have slightly bigger boots than what you usually wear in day-to-day life. But yeah, I think I've done a pretty good job of these, to be honest, from what I can see anyway. Other than that smear just there. Although I think that's part of the plastic on the boot, if I'm being totally honest. One second, I can't scratch it off, so no. I'm just going to quickly have a quick check to see if I've missed out on all of my boots. That black mark is really beginning to bug me because I don't know where it's from. And yeah, I'll attempt to relace these at some point over the next couple of days. I'm going to have to try and get these out. In fact, let me try and do it now. Let me, in fact, go this way instead. No, I can't. That way. And I'll just pull the lace out once it's come out that way. And these are like almost black now. It's absolutely atrocious what colour these have got to. But 5 years of football does this to you. 5 years, 3.5 years, I'll say. Because I actually haven't played for a while. I played the start of this season, not for too long though. Where's the actual lace? There. There you go. It's actually pretty cold out here now. Like, the UK's been very, very warm over the past couple of weeks. Tonight it's actually dropped chilly. I'm not sure whether it's because I'm covered in water. I'll just get where's the cloth? There it is. On these bits specifically. There we go, much cleaner. Where'd I put that lace now? It's there. I want to put it in here, thank you. I need to wash it. As dirty as that water is, it's still cleaner than the laces themselves. But yeah, I'll have to relace them all. I've never actually unlaced them, to be fair, so it's probably worth it for now. Just trying to get these as spick and span as possible. But yeah, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Ow! I'm going to attempt to relace them at some point. I may video that if I attempt to relace them in about 15 minutes, because they're actually dried off a lot quicker than I thought. The laces themselves haven't though, so we'll have to wait and see how clean I get them. Yeah, so I'll see you later guys. Bye!